Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hi, everybody. Okay. Welcome back. I think the screen is playing peekaboo with me, one than I just said before. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to VCTV, the Venture Capital TV from LATOKEN. I'm the host and the moderator, Sonny Mohanty. I'm the regional director of LATOKEN as well. And I'm very happy and glad to be back hosting shows, panel discussions. And today we're going to discuss about very interesting topic, the bridge between blockchain and traditional economy. So yes, let's have a quick round of intro about of our speakers today. Hi Vandana, hi Hesham, nice to see you all back on the show. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Great.
Great, yeah.
Thank you.
Hesham, welcome back. I think we had I think the panel last week.
Was Monday.
Right?
Yeah.
Monday. Oh yes, sorry. And Vandana, yes, welcome back as well. So let's have a quick round of intro. Vandana, let's start with you.
Okay, so first of all, Sunny, it's really nice to see you back after really long. I felt like lost not meeting you so much here because, you know, we are a happy VCTV family. And congratulations, you are a brave woman. You completed the 21 days of quarantine really well. And I want to thank the entire team of LATOKEN because they put in a lot of efforts to create these shows, wherein you know, entrepreneurs, founders, investors can come and even ask questions live. You know, coming to my introduction, I was in Singapore and Jakarta for 15 years in investment banking. I had my own family office fund there. This is my 7th year back in India. I did investments. Then I went back to advisory. Currently, I'm connected with 300 investors globally. I pick up global deals. I've given 155 talks worldwide, including VCTV shows. Apart from that, this month I'm nominated as the top 10 women leaders in wealth management 2021. And really happy to be here. We are sector agnostic. We pick up $1 million to $25 million. In terms of geographies, we are already global. So nice to be here back on the panel with Sunny especially.
Thank you, Vandana, and congratulations for your, you know, the honor that you received. Thank you for being part of the VCTV while I was away as well, and I'm glad that we are back together as a family. And I'm missing other family members as well. But Hesham has just joined, the newest family member. Hesham, let's have a quick round of intro.
Sure. So thank you so much, Sonny, for the introduction and for the opportunity to be part of the show. My name is Hesham Wahby. I am one of the principals in a company called Cultiv, which runs a number of activities, and we manage a network of smaller companies that all operate in the area of innovation and entrepreneurship. And Cultiv Ventures is our arm that runs venture capital funds. We started in 2011 as a company called InnoVentures, and then as we added more activities, we rebranded as Cultiv. Before that, my background is originally as a computer engineer, and then went into the business space around 2009 after completing my MBA, and I've been in the investment space and since, as I said, 2011, working with startups. We run a program that accelerates startups. We're pretty new to the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. We're starting to get into it recently, but we also have been running a platform for virtual shares that we use to reward mentors and other contributors to our programs and helping the startups and so on in the form of digital assets or digital tokens. and we're moving that into a blockchain-based system, as well as we have a couple of companies that operate in the fintech space.
Perfect. So
Great to be
we thank you so much, Hesham. Hesham, sorry, I couldn't stop myself when I came to know. Obviously, you are into blockchain, you are into fintech, you are into crypto, and that's where the topic is. Like
Sure.
the bridge between. I mean, when I say blockchain technology, we have other use cases outside of cryptocurrencies as well. But you are familiar with crypto, which is would like to know and enlighten our viewers about this bridge. And Vandana, obviously, she is also working with blockchain startups and cryptocurrencies as well. If I remember correctly, with Mr. RJ something. Sorry, I'm forgetting his full name, but you were part of his show as well. So let's start with this. Vandana, you are on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Rajan. Yeah, Rajan.
Rajan.
On Rajan. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I just forgot his name, but I remember that we were both speakers on the show. So, so obviously, I read somewhere that cryptocurrencies are not considered outside of fintech. They are obviously meant for the financial industry, be it payments, a lot of use cases in the payment side and other industry as well, but they're not separate totally from financial industry. So, so what potential do you see between these two markets, like the traditional market and the newest form of financial inclusion, with cryptocurrencies taking a major stake into this financial industry? Sham?
Sure. Again, it's a very exciting space, and I think a lot of the excitement is in the area of other things other than currency. I think this is where it really becomes interesting. And how do you digitalize and create tokens that represent things like securities in companies or equity or shares. How do you, as we're talking today, the bridge between with the traditional economy? How do you develop technologies that allow you to very, very tightly couple the operation of something that happens in the physical world with something that's represented in an asset. And this is the area where we're interested, and we're working with startups that are looking into these kind of things. So I think over the last couple of years, we started seeing some developments in this area. We started seeing some companies starting to develop things like the recent recently the governments as well are starting to take an interest and to support, and it's becoming more mainstream. Big case in point, the exit of Coinbase. So it's a very, very interesting space, and I'd love to talk in more detail.
Yes, absolutely. So we have this crypto exchange, Coinbase, that went public, and we have institutional money. I mean, it's not no more in use anymore. So we see institutional investors investing into cryptocurrencies. So Vandana, coming over to you as well. What's your take on that?
So actually, Sunny, I think you are more experienced than me in this. I have just got into this since you've been in this field since several donkey years already. But the shift to technology-driven society has been accompanied with the rise of centralized architectures. Now, centralized systems generally consist of a single entity which can manage and control the flow of information. Online interaction almost necessitates the requirement of monolithic identity providers through logins on platforms like Google and other enabling platforms. Conducting day-to-day activities like financial transactions also requires state issues IDs like the unique identity project of Aadhaar cards in India or social security numbers in USC. The indispensability of these sources, which collect a wide pool of data, make centralized data systems, inescapable. With increased consumption of IT, the popularity of big data, and the advent of cloud computing, there has been a rising debate for moving towards decentralization. And the use of big data for surveillance by states and corporations has also raised concern about the privacy of one's data under centralized architectures. Now, primarily regarding concerns about privacy, decentralization offers an obvious edge. Due to the lack of single entity with an authority on the flow of information, decentralization makes surveillance extremely difficult. And an important aspect of decentralized architectures is the advent of blockchain technologies. A blockchain is a decentralized record that relies on a cryptographic algorithm and economic incentives in order to ensure the integrity and legitimacy of every transaction. Now, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are examples of decentralized financial architectures, while centralized financial operators like PayPal and Paytm have huge database of information of users with extremely sensitive credit and bank information contained with a central authority. Decentralized systems like blockchain networks work
Sorry,
more on,
Vandana,
yeah,
do you hear yourself? Is that I can hear an echo. It's
yeah,
gone
I
now.
can hear the, yeah, I can hear the echo.
Uh, has any sorry,
It's fine on
Hesham?
my end. I think I can hear it. I don't hear an echo.
Do
Yeah,
you
it's
hear
gone
an
again.
echo?
Yeah.
I think it's there somewhere. Should I mute myself? And
Let's.
No, we
Can you
can hear
mute
you.
yourself and see? Just mute yourself.
okay,
Hi, Hesham. I
Yeah.
think it's gone, right? It's gone.
I wasn't hearing anything. It was fine on my end. Might be some
Yeah.
kind of
So
glitch,
the
but
echo is gone, Vandana. Can you
yeah.
check maybe there's not another screen? So why Vandana is sorry, Vandana. Let's try again.
sure. Am I? Is it echoing now?
No, no, it's
It's
gone.
fine now.
It's fine.
Okay. So sorry about that. I think some technical glitch here. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, while centralized financial operators like PayPal and Paytm have huge database of information of users with extremely sensitive credit and banking information contained with central authority, decentralized systems like blockchain networks work more on a peer-to-peer networking level. Now, these technologies thus also solve the problem of information asymmetry presented by, centralized architectures, as they are generally more egalitarian and present an equal level of transparency between users. So this is my, small take over here. Of course, Sunny, you would know better here.
Yeah, I think you have covered most of the topic, Vandana, when it came to the intersection between the traditional finance or centralized technology and the decentralized technology, which is the distributed ledger technology. I think you covered it very nicely. Thank you for sharing those views, insights from you. Let's just hear it from Hisham as well.
Sure. It resonated with me when Vandana was talking about decentralization, and I think when we're talking about the traditional economy, the thing that allows a market to be a market that is dynamic and active and growing is the ability of individuals within that market to be able to interact without having to refer to a central authority. So I think this is a very important aspect of blockchain. It allows this to happen whenever there are central authorities involved in something. It's going to slow it down, and especially when we're going into a time when globalization, when we're increasing trading and doing business across borders. something like blockchain is an enabler for this to happen in a very fluid way. Because if you are able to, tie, the trade of, say, shares in companies, or the trade of other assets like real estate, or whatever it is, prices of commodities and so on, to a digital token of some sort, and then trade that across borders, then you're going to allow more fluid trade and business to happen in a very dynamic way, and that's going to enable especially countries where smaller countries, or countries which are isolated out of the global marketplace, to participate more. And I see the countries starting to take advantage of that, to be involved in this. But of course, we need to develop those technologies first, and I think this is a challenge. And until today, I think mostly the currencies, cryptocurrencies, are closed on themselves. You can trade, securely trade, make a transaction with a cryptocurrency. But if you're talking about an asset that represents something in the physical world, there isn't yet, we haven't figured out how to very securely tie that transaction to the actual operation that happens in the physical world. And I think that's going to be something that of interest to see. How can I make sure that when I give you this token, that I'm actually controlling the ownership, controlling the use of that asset in the physical world. So we're always on the lookout for things like that, which to invest in, because we think that's really where the future lies.
Yes, absolutely, Hesham. I mean, obviously, you've discussed STOs, tokenization of real estate. That's obviously a very advanced stage of blockchain technology, as we all know. Talking about blockchain technology itself, so I have seen new business models, new revenue streams has emerged because of this technology. So would like to know, what have you seen? Like, obviously we have the financial industry use case, which is the CBDCs. Then we have the payment tokens, and the cryptocurrencies. But talking about other businesses, other industries. So what have you seen so far? Like, what revenue streams have you seen coming through different business models? What form of cost effectiveness or efficiencies you've seen, which obviously blockchain technology has brought to the table, and in terms of other industries as well, the traditional industries.
Sure. Well, I think traditional businesses have a lot to benefit from, from the blockchain and the transparency it brings, and your ability to, track things along, say, the supply chain, or along, different kinds of operations that happen in a very transparent way. So we've seen startups starting to work on this aspect. This is a very interesting aspect where you can track the where this where each item you get from your suppliers is coming from, so that you can make sure that you align it with your values, and you can also make sure that it's of good quality, and it's not it's authentic and not fake, and so on. So this is we've seen startups. We haven't invested in anything like that yet, but we've seen a number of concepts like that. So that's a very interesting area. And the other area which has been explored over the last few years is ownership of especially shares in companies. And I think this is the very clear next step that is going to start appearing over the next couple of years.
Absolutely, Hesham, totally agree. So talking about the banking industry itself, Vandana, we have payments, right? So how is the blockchain technology? I mean, let's just zero down into payments, because we have in a banking system, you do not just have payments. You have clearance and settlement systems. You have trade finance. You have loans. You have credits. You have KYC. You have different departments functioning within a banking system, right? And how
Right.
this technology, we can just focus on payments for now. How is this technology going to disrupt banking with payments in focus?
So, the relationship between, governments and cryptocurrencies has always been tense. And in some countries, this has led to the outright bans on buying and owning and trading. And the outright prohibition of cryptocurrencies mainly happened around 2017 and 2018, coinciding with Bitcoin's bull run. Now, as central banks and governments notice the surge in interest in cryptocurrencies, ignoring this growing market was no longer an option. While those were the biggest years for bans, and some countries continue to consider prohibitions on these coins, they can't control. Now, as you can see in some countries, bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies are considered troublesome as they cannot be monitored or regulated by the government and financial institutions. Now, whatever justification a nation provides for banning crypto, it is all about keeping control of its own financial system.
Right.
And the cryptocurrency market attracts peoples and criminals associated with tax evasion and money laundering. And our traditional banking institutions, which are recognized by most governments, are being challenged by cryptocurrency sector. This means transactions take place outside our normal banking system can be carried out by someone who has not used the bank before, making it difficult to track the transaction. For religious reasons, Saudi Arabia has, outlawed Bitcoin, arguing that it is not compatible with the Muslim law.
Right.
Now Iceland forbade Bitcoin to protect itself against too much money leaving the country. And on the simple ground that it does not control, it was forbidden by Bolivian government. Now, since there is no centralized database, the loss of digital wallet could lead to a permanent loss of virtual currency. The presence of digital wallet makes it more vulnerable to theft such as robbery, hacking, malware. And cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile in nature because there is no protection asset backing them. Because of its anonymous function, there is a risk of violating laws against money laundering and countering the funding of terrorism. The topic of taxation is just one of many issues that emerged from enabling investment and in use of cryptocurrencies. Now, in this regard, the problem seems to be how to categorize cryptocurrencies for tax purposes and the particular activities involving them.
I think also Vandana, you touched upon a very good points of
Yeah,
yeah, anti like money laundering and sort of
yeah,
terrorism financing. These are something that very much has been brought into attention when cryptocurrencies are considered. I think these something, I think, yes, very good points to discuss on the show as well.
mm,
Okay, Sham. Okay, now we're talking about blockchain here, right? Blockchain technology. Then we have the traditional economy as well. So, do you think CBDC, the central bank digital currency, is an answer? Is a big answer to this bridging this traditional banking between and the blockchain technology? Because CBDCs, if we know, fundamentally is not a cryptocurrency. It's a government central bank issued digital currency, but still they're still it's the underlying infrastructure is the distributed ledger technology. So Hisham, so is it the right answer
Sure.
between the two?
Yeah. Well, as you said, CBDCs are not, like the traditional, or like the not traditional, but I mean the normal cryptocurrencies, or
Yeah.
like Bitcoin and so on, in the in the sense that they are in some case in some way controlled by the government, or it's let's say it's a virtual token that or a digital token that represents the country's own currency. I'm not sure yet. We're still to explore. We're still to see how effective those are. I think that it's going to happen. I think some countries are already moving in that direction and have started, taking action in that space. As I had, I think Sonny's out, but I think she'll be back, so I'll continue.
Oh no, I'm just having my water. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we were talking last time we spoke. I was talking about the recent decision from the Egyptian government, which was for example, Egypt is taking a very conservative approach to cryptocurrencies, but still they made this they issued this regulation that allows financial institutions to issue virtual assets as long as they're pegged to the Egyptian pound. So in some ways that is kind of like the CBDC idea, even though they have not specifically tied it to blockchain or tied it to being a cryptocurrency. But again, it's an example of even a country that is being conservative about it, considering that they need to create something in that direction, and eventually they will be accepting of the idea of a CBDC or something equivalent. Whether they also open up to other cryptocurrencies as well, being legally endorsed. It's not officially outlawed at this point, but it's also not. It's a gray area. So whether that happens, or not, is an interesting. It is interesting to see. But I think I want to comment on something that when you were speaking to Vandana, you brought up taxes. So I think this is and KYC. So I think this is the case to be made to governments to support cryptocurrencies is to show how they can realize a benefit as well from it. And even though KYC was an issue initially about Bitcoin and money laundering and so on, but guess what? You can also use blockchain to do KYC in a very efficient way, because if you tie it into the system, if you create a currency that somehow you can verify the identity, then that's a way. And that you can do that, and also taxation. If you have a blockchain that shows, or a ledger of some sort that shows every single transaction that's happened on this, then you can easily tax that. So I don't see there's anything fundamentally stopping or challenging blockchain being used as a technology. It's just a matter of how do you design the technologies in the right way so that they satisfy the interests of the stakeholders involved.
Very good points. Tax KYC, yes, for sure. I mean, obviously we are a blockchain based cryptocurrency exchange, and we have a lot of users, and we do KYC very conveniently, externally, internally as well with our partners. So I think I totally agree with Hesham and Vandana. Vandana, talking about CBDC, what's your take on that? Do you think this is the right answer between the two economies, traditional economy like the traditional banking, and blockchain coming together?
Yeah, so I totally agree with what Hesham said. But adding on to that, to date, countries that have issued their own cryptocurrencies include, Ecuador, China, Senegal, Singapore, Tunisia. Though these countries will not be standing alone for long, with Estonia, India, Japan, Russia, and Sweden looking to launch their own national cryptocurrencies. Now, some of these current countries are likely to take it a step further and replace paper tender altogether, with China being one nation that is looking to take one step beyond a virtual and paper version. Of the countries looking to introduce their own cryptocurrencies, I think the world's largest economies could force the hands of smaller nations, and we would expect momentum to build in the years ahead. Now, central banks are now looking closely at the successes and constraints faced by those who have already stepped into the light. Now, how will blockchain technology fix it? I'm going to explain that as well. The challenges that come, I think I'm echoing. Am I echoing?
Yes, you
No,
are.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's I don't hear the echo on my end.
Oh, okay. Am I echoing, Sunny? I
Yes.
can. Okay, I think there's some issue. Should I mute myself?
Yeah, try muting yourself.
Okay, I can hear myself. Yeah, some issue, I guess.
Yeah, I've muted you. I have muted yourself. I think it's gone now, but I put you on mute, Vandana. So I just wanted to, Vandana will come to you. I think you were talking about a very, very interesting point, but I think we need to sort out your echoing first. So let me just try unmuting you. Would you like to talk now?
Is it better now? I don't hear myself.
Yes, yes, gone. The
Sorry,
moment you put yourself on mute, it goes away.
yeah, sorry about that.
No,
So
it's
what
okay.
I'm saying is that the challenges that come with the payment for items are plentiful. It takes a while for some payments to go through, plus it is tough to trace some deals. Now, cross-border payments are also burdensome as people have to go through many legal obstacles to move funds. The potentially expensive fees can also be a burden. Plus, it might take longer to manage some transaction. Payment efforts are challenging as various banks and other financial groups have various terms for work. The overly centralized nature of money makes it where people must manage payments through specific platforms. The varying rule rates, currencies, and other terms make many deals harder to manage than necessary. But there is hope as blockchain technology is helping to simplify payments. Blockchain systems make it easier for people to move their payments, whether it is entails general payments or cross-border transactions. The blockchain system will make it easier for people to facilitate whatever they want to manage. Blockchain technology is already prominent today, and it will continue to be worth watching in future. And the potential for the industry is strong, but it will require technical support to ensure it can stay active. So I think this is what is my small take here, though I can go on and on.
Uh, Thank you so much, Vandana, for sharing those insights. Yes, we can have another topic for sure. No worries. We have VCTV every day, and you can save your insights for another show and episode, and we'd definitely like to hear from you. So, okay, we talk about banking system. We let's talk about apart from cryptocurrencies and financial institutions, then we have healthcare. I think this year has been what I have experienced myself that sorry, I'm getting call on my Slack. So what I've experienced this year that I traveled from Singapore to Dubai. I had to do probably 6 7 PCR tests, which is the for the COVID-19 tests, and they were all like stored. They were all digitally stored, and I was told it's a blockchain based certificate, digital certificate that you get, which is obviously nobody can play with it. Nobody can sort of give you issue a false certificate or something like that. So there are a lot of things, a lot of use cases out of the healthcare sector itself when it comes to healthcare sector. So let's just hear from both of you, each of you. Like Hesham, would you like to start? So we have we in Singapore we have this trace track me app. Like we have an app which is obviously mandatory to download on your phone, so that you are so you're exposed to the virus. Then obviously it alarms you, and signing in, signing out of public places. So it's a very important, and it's also based on the blockchain technology. So that's a big use case coming out of the healthcare industry itself. in 2020 and 2021. So would you like to share some of your insights, Hesham?
Sure, I agree. It's a great opportunity. It's a that's a perfect example of how a blockchain can be used in non-financial areas, supporting traditional needs and as you said, the example that you said proving that you have taken the test and it's negative, or proving that you've taken the vaccination, or so on, in a cross-border kind of way that can be tamper-proof, and but more generally, medical records. It's not just the say the COVID vaccination, but you can also document other vaccinations. You can document certain conditions that you need to show that that person has or does not have for whatever other purposes during as they travel around the world, and also to keep a track of your medical records, which can be shared between different hospitals or other medical institutions. So that's a very, very interesting use case that we'll be seeing more of. I think, and I didn't know that this has already started being done in Singapore and then other countries. But yeah, that was a natural thing, an opportunity to see, and this is a great demonstration that it's really becoming something that can be adopted in the mainstream. And also what you mentioned about tracking tracking where you've been, who you've interacted with. If there is some way I can demonstrate that in an anonymous way, because you can also have a blockchain that can I know that this is my address, but no one else knows that this is my address, so I can always track who else I've interacted with in an anonymous way, and whether they have been exposed to infection of some sort, and then that can be traced back very quickly through the blockchain, and I can get a notification, by the way, you've met this person, without naming them, but that person that you met or been in close contact with has been exposed. So be careful, or go get a checkup or whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think healthcare industry, in terms of use case of blockchain, healthcare industry is the one where we all have been seeing the benefits of this technology in a big, big way. So, Vandana, would you like to share some of your insights coming from the healthcare industry?
Yeah, definitely. This use case is very, very important for all of us to know. In India, we have this app called Arogya Setu that also tracks wherever we go, and whether we have come across any person that has been infected with the virus, whether we've got vaccinated or no. I'm sure it's not as advanced as the one that you have in Singapore, but it is pretty much advanced there also. We can actually track with, if we have come across with any person who has virus and we are at a risk or not. So I think it's very important that healthcare technologies, combine with the blockchain, so that we can have a more, effective and system into this, because naturally everyone is very worried about the health at this stage, and
Yeah.
also about their data not being available at all the places, because you can imagine how much data we have on our phone, with so many apps. All the time we are exposed to social media groups where people can easily track us, and there's so much more. And in particular, like, anybody would not want their personal information to go out like this, and they being privacy being jeopardized there. So I feel that it's very important. I'm glad you shared this use case, and we all should learn from these cases where we should have it in more advanced form. But also, I also, while I was reading about the topic today, I read that renewable energy can also help facilitate blockchain transactions without spending lots of time managing the work. And the increased power needed for keeping the blockchain active can be challenging to manage. Plus, it may be expensive after a while. So, I'm not sure, like, that the open nature of blockchain, where most software programs that manage blockchain activities are open source solutions. And more parties can use these to facilitate payments without spending more money on infrastructure. So, there we still have to, I think, explore all this quite a lot in this space. It's new, still new. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, totally. Thank you so much for sharing those insights with us as well. I just want to know, what other industry do you think is going to be really, really, which is really traditional driven, very traditional, is going to be disrupted by the blockchain technology? I read somewhere impact investment. I mean, I haven't seen many. I have seen, but not at a large scale as compared to a fintech. Like a payment token, like a token used for the payment industry, for the financial industry itself and healthcare. But what other industries do you think? Supply chain. Then we have. Um, what else can you share? I'm just
Sure.
I
trying
think,
to think.
yeah, sure.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
No. Please go ahead.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Vandana first.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, even agri-tech, edu-tech, health tech, food tech, I think all can go with blockchain. I mean, if we look at it that way, and, these streaming apps, there's so much, the supermarket, where we shop and all. Like now, what I notice is, if I start to say searching for a plant for my house,
Yeah.
on Facebook, only those ads show up. And if I'm looking for a skin product, only those ads show up. If I'm looking for yoga or something like that, only those show up. So I think that that kind of a thing is also quite effective, because you are looking at something and repeatedly, you get to see those things over and over again. Like few days back, I had bought some furniture, and then over the 1 month, I was getting ads of furniture. Like, so I think it's going to get more efficient only. It's just that we have to adapt ourselves and be more proactive and progressive in understanding this kind of technology. Like, if you remember, when demonetization happened in India, everybody was skeptical to use Paytm unless they were forced to. So now even the milkman uses digital payments, the taxi man and the grocery people,
Yeah.
Similarly, when we were on Zoom, we already knew about Zoom, and we knew that these meetings happen. But we only put this into practice when all of us together were forced to use it during lockdown, because we had no option. Then came StreamYard, then came AirMeet and Microsoft Teams. So all these platforms, everybody became progressive and proactive and started learning. I had seen school teachers struggling with this Zoom, because they had never used, the traditional teachers in India. But now, because they already know that, it is such a good thing to have, I think everybody would not want to go back to school and have that teaching system as well.
Right. Thank you, Vandana, for sharing those. Sham, would you like to share something about the
Sure.
use case adoption of blockchain technology in? I remembered like fashion, retail, food. Like, now that, sorry, just I'm going to go to you. Like I was in Davos like last year, and I saw like I bumped into a booth, and they were selling sustainable clothes. Then I was like, it was a new concept back to me in I think it's 2020, just 2021, right? 2020, early 2020, when I was in Davos. Was a very new concept to me, sustainable clothing. And then when I asked to explain them, they could just say that you can track down to the roots, like, when of this clothing, that the cloth that I wear, I really don't know where's it stitched, where's it manufactured, what really the roots of this. But now with that blockchain technology, with a QR code scan, you can just trace back, you can see all the history and everything else. Sorry, Sham, over to you.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. That's again a perfect example of a way to certify or to document supply chain history. But I think that the really natural next step is anything that is also already uses some kind of points system or any kind of token for example, in the travel industry, you have miles, for example, whenever you get on a flight, or when you go to a hotel and you get points for using that hotel network. So any industry like that, like telecom operators, also frequently give you points or tokens as you use the network more. Credit card networks also do this same kind of thing. So anything that's doing that already, I think that's a direct translation instead of having this centralized system, you can easily decentralize, and that makes it more fluid. The other thing is any industry in which you need to have some kind of transparent certification that something has happened, or where you want to show the order in which things have happened and claims on that. So two examples of those. I recently, I think it was last year, I attended an online course with the University of Nicosia. It was a course on blockchain, on cryptocurrency, and they issue the certificate that you've attended and the course, or received a diploma in the form of a certificate that's based on the blockchain. So that's a great use case. Obviously, it matches the brand of the course, but also patents, for example. You want to show who claimed this kind of this intellectual property item first, so that you can place claims on that in the order in which they happen. So that's again things like that, things like intellectual property, things like any kind of other information that you need to demonstrate or need to share very widely with the whole world in some way that's transparent. I think those are the natural use cases that you can easily see.
I think sorry, Hesham, I remember I was in Cyprus in 2019, and I think I met the professor from University of Nicosia, and he was saying, I think they're the first university. Sorry about this notifications. I think they're the first university to accept Bitcoin as a mode of payment for education, and that was back in 2019. I remember I met the professor as well from the University of Nicosia. So it just brought back memories. Thank you for sharing that. Vandana, would you like to? Sorry, you wanted to say something? You're on mute.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying, I mean, I totally agree with what Hesham said and what you said. I mean, this is going to come up, and what I see is also, there is a modern approach to paying, with the blockchain. And if you look at the G20 has been looking for a way to, modernize cross-border payments for years. And blockchain technology will make this possible. And by providing a new way to manage money, undeserved markets will have more accessibility to handling funds. And I feel it becomes easier for people to interact and manage payments with one another when a blockchain system works. The digital assets that move will also be backed by flat currency, and the value of the assets will vary surrounding this, fiat currency, but the total can be worthwhile if managed well enough. And the transfer process, lets people facilitate payments without having exchange currencies for their payment needs. So I think it's a very modern approach, and I think we should adapt ourselves and move towards it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today, both of you, Vandana. And I think, touched upon healthcare, starting with financial technology. Obviously, financial industry is the one which has a huge sort of use case for both blockchain and crypto. Then health tech, impact, sustainable, retail industry, logistics, transportation. So obviously, traditional economy and blockchain economy are coming together, and obviously, we see a lot of successful use cases. And thanks for sharing your insights and your experience and knowledge with us today on VCTV. Vandana, Hesham, all the way from Egypt. And I love to have you back on our shows, Hesham. Lot to learn from you as well. And yeah, so let's take some closing thoughts before we wrap up the show. Hisham, what's your take? What's your feedback about the show and about the future of blockchain technology?
No, it's great. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot again for giving me the privilege of being a part of this show. But it's a very exciting space. There's a lot of development that's happening already and is going to happen, and it'll be interesting to see the combination of what happens in technology, what happens in what becomes adopted as part of the mainstream, and how also regulation plays out throughout the next few years. So a lot of interesting things to look forward to, and a lot of opportunity for anyone who has ideas in this. I encourage them to look into it and explore. It's still an unclaimed space, so it's an opportunity for new startups, for entrepreneurs. And I expect to see a lot of investment in it in the next few years.
Absolutely, same here. Thank you so much, Hisham. Vandana, over to you.
Yeah, so definitely there is a lot to learn from this space, and I look forward to more startups from this place. I'm already working with a blockchain fund on helping them raise investments, and looking for different kind of startups. There's a lot of opportunity out here, and I see there is a lot of bridge coming up between the blockchain and the traditional economy. And I would like to thank you and the entire team of LATOKEN for having me here over and over again. It really seems like a family. This is this session is more of a therapy session, and it's for like-minded people and more of a family session. So I'm really looking forward with more sessions with you. And thank you once again for having me here.
Thank you, Vandana. Thank you, Hisham. Love your show today with both of you sharing your insights. So, viewers of VCTV, so I'll be back again on another episode of VCTV this week, and please stay tuned with us because we are coming up with new shows, new topics, new speakers. It's going to be very interesting. Till then, stay safe, and I'll see you again on another episode. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.